Hello, everyone. It's Kavita from Red Door Yoga. Thank you for joining me for the Red Door Yoga Mini Sutra series online. Today, I wanted to talk about the freedom of minimalism. Now, recently, we talked about the way of Zen, and I talked about the idea of a place for everything and everything in its place. And I challenged you to do that with your space. And I said, if you found it difficult to do it with a room, then you could go, maybe a drawer and work on that way of Zen with a drawer. Okay, you could expand from there. Well, today I wanted to talk to you about the freedom that comes along with minimalism. Now, for some people, the thought of minimalism actually makes them feel so happy, so free, so comfortable. For some people, I say minimalism, and they think that's too austere for me. I feel cold when I think about minimalism. I don't feel that way personally. I happen to really like minimalism, and I actually sense, I believe rather, that those of you who feel left cold when you think about minimalism, you may not be thinking about minimalism in the way that it's intended, okay? So, very often the ego likes to surround itself with stuff. Even those who enjoy minimalism, like myself, it's really easy to collect things. It's really easy to keep adding into your environment, little things here and there. And very quickly, it becomes clutter. Okay, I had even suggested to you guys the last mini sutra where we talked about the way of Zen. I suggested to you that if you couldn't find a place for something, that thing might need to leave your life. Okay, it may not have a place in your life. And you will find that with a lot of stuff that is in your environment, your home environment, your car, your office, wherever it is, whatever space it is that you're looking at. Minimalism is the art of figuring out what is actually necessary and what is unnecessary even from an emotional point for you. And it's usually a lot less than you actually have. It's a way of decluttering your space, and it's therefore a way of decluttering your mind and keeping your eye on the really important things. I recently started cleaning out my office, and I have 3 bookshelves in my office, and there are a lot of things on those bookshelves. So I train yoga teachers, and I've written a lot of yoga teacher training manuals. So there are filing holders on my bookshelves, which are filled with these yoga teacher training manuals that I use on a regular basis. There's definitely a place for those, okay? But then I also have a number of books on these 3 bookshelves. And as I started cleaning out these bookshelves, I started realizing that there were a lot of books that I brought in when I was writing a lot of the yoga teacher training manuals that I've written. I bought these books and brought them into my space for research purposes. And they were helpful. A lot of them were helpful. Some of them weren't as helpful, but most of them were very helpful. But they have fulfilled their purpose. They fulfilled their purpose, and I never actually got rid of them after they fulfilled their purpose. And I realized that as a result of holding on to things that were no longer needed in my life, I was creating clutter in my office. Now, they're well organized, okay, but they're still clutter because they're not needed. They're still clutter because they are objects that are catching my eye and taking up energetic space that are unnecessary. So I started to actually sort through these books and remove books that I no longer need. And I started to put them aside with the idea that I would pass them on to my yoga students because they may be helpful to my yoga students and the teachers that I train, so students and teachers. And they can go out there and do good in the world, but I don't need them anymore, and I don't need their energy in my space anymore as a result. Okay? By minimalizing the objects in my space, taking away those that are no longer needed, it allows me to also notice the ones that are there that are needed, that are going to add something to my life. So I noticed that there were a few books on my bookshelves that I have not yet read, but I want to read. And by removing the ones that are no longer needed, no longer serve real purpose to me, what do I see? I notice the ones that are there that I want to engage with, that still have something to offer me. And I am therefore much more likely to read them, much more likely to engage with them. So, minimalism gives the mind immense amounts of freedom. Freedom to notice, freedom to engage. So it's not spending all of its time just kind of batting away things that don't serve it anymore. Okay? So when we went through the art of Zen, Mini Sutra, I asked you to work with, that way of a place for everything and everything in its place. Well, this week, after you've listened to this Mini Sutra, I'm going to challenge you to, declutter an area and work with the concept of minimalism. And by the way, using that example of my bookshelves, I've given myself the idea that there will be 4. I choose 4. Okay. If I come upon a 5th one where I'm like, no, really, I still want to hold on to this one, I've chosen 4. I am allowable. Okay, that is allowable to expand that a little bit. But I've chosen 4 where I've decided I'm going to hold on to 4 novels, as it were, right? They don't have to be fictional, okay? But let's refer to them as novels. I'm going to hold on to 4 novels that I want to read. And the idea is that now I can see them. And when I read one of them, unless it's one where I read it and I go, I would like to read that one again soon, unless it's that, after I've read it, that novel goes. Now there's space for me to bring another one in if I want to, or I'm just minimalizing, okay? Only what is needed is going to be on that bookshelf, but I'm going to say 4. I've actually created a goal, as it were, because I'm a very goal-oriented individual, where I actually want to minimize the number of books in my library. Okay, which is very different actually from how I used to feel about it, where the mind almost thought the more books, the better. Okay, but now I actually am in that place where I want to work on the minimalism in order to keep that clarity of mind. It is freedom. So I challenge you to do this with your space as well. Again, you don't have to do your whole house. Maybe pick a bookshelf, pick a room, whatever it is. Pick an object, maybe it's clothing for you, right? Where you're going to work with the freedom of minimalism there. And I would love to see some photos, okay, before and after. And I would also love to hear about how this has affected you, how this minimalistic approach is affecting your mind and affecting how you function and how you feel on a regular basis. Do like and share the videos with others. And I look forward to seeing you again online very, very soon. Namaste.